So there's this one key metric that we follow, which is emissions finance. Very simple concept, but very difficult to get your hands around it. So at the end of the year, let's say at the end of 2023, if we look back and say, okay, how much money did we generate, either from our balance sheet or from the market for our clients? So let's say X amount, let's say $100, right? And then we say, okay, and out of those $100, from a scope 3 emissions perspective, which by the way is what really applies to banks, scope 1 and scope 2 for a bank is not that high. Like we have been, net zero for more than 10 years now, right? As a bank, because we don't manufacture anything. It's really our staff's travel, few cars and buildings, right? So that's real issue is the scope 3, which for those of you who don't know, scope 3 relates to a product that a company provides in the marketplace to its customers. And then the customer takes that product and does something with it. And in doing that something with it, it creates emissions. So what are those emissions? They become part of the original company's scope 3 emissions. So if I provide $10 of financing to you, Jocelyn, and you take those $10 and go and do something, let's say you take the money and you buy coal and then you produce something else with it, then all of the emission that is related to those $10 worth of your purchase and your production becomes my scope 3 emissions. Okay? So for the banks, the best practice is to first and foremost look and say, hey, how many emissions did I finance in 2021 versus 2022 versus 2023? How am I tracking? And that number has to come drastically down.